Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Patrick Allmond. I run a digital marketing agency and a self-improvement brand right here on my shirt. Hopefully you're seeing it going the right direction, called Stop Doing Nothing. So I've got a list of topics here and I want us to discuss these. Like I said, I really think this is a good time for, I'm not going to say massive business expansion, but for a time to look at your business seriously and your business model. And if it was really dependent on, face-to-face meetings or interpersonal relationships, what can you do to pivot that immediately? I know that some of you are having challenges. I mean, I really do. But, my general attitude is to, when those challenges happen, take a day, an hour, or whatever it is, and cry over whatever the problem is, and then get your ass back on the horse and get back to work. So right now I'm thinking in terms of business expansion. First quarter was great here. Second quarter continues to look like it's going to be great. And my mindset is all about pivoting and expansion right now. So again, when you have those time events, so let's kind of run through my notes here. As you see right now, I am talking to you. And what am I doing when I'm talking to you? I'm producing content. So right now is a great time to get off your butt and get on producing content. Newsletters, podcasts, videos. Doesn't have to be, content doesn't have to be live. I'm a fan of live in the right situations for interaction, but you do not have to be doing live streams. But I am a huge fan of video content. So when you're sitting around right now and you have, 40, 50, 60 hours and you're trying to figure out how to fill these, if you have a block in there someplace, drop content production in that block. And by content, I mean keep it simple. Talking, turning on a recording device of some sort, a microphone or a camera, and just start talking. Make a general outline when it comes to your business expertise, and maybe if you have several areas, just pick one particular area and talk about that one. And by the way, a lot of these ideas you're going to see me talk about today are things I just preach all the time. They're things I preach 40 hours a week when it comes into business. And so the good basics, I've always been a fan of the good basics of whether it be fitness or finance or business. The good basics never change. They really don't. They may alter a little bit, they may shift, but general strategy and tactics may shift, but general strategy stays the same. So please get on that content production. As you know, I like to keep my content production very simple. Got my Logitech C920 camera here. I've got a really nice Blue Yeti mic I've generally used for audio work, but recently, you can just barely see it up here. You can probably hear the noise. During this downtime, I was finally able to get my boom mic and my mixer set up. So I'm hoping my audio is going to be a little bit better for you. But if you follow me personally on Facebook or on YouTube or on iTunes or whatever, you're seeing that my content's coming out probably on a more regular basis now than it has ever been before. So obviously I want you to follow me in all those places, but you'll see that every single channel I have out there when it comes to video or audio is getting updated at least once a week, if not more often. And same thing with my email newsletter. My email newsletter went out yesterday and I got some replies back of people that want some coaching help already. So that regular content production and building that expertise is the basis for a good trust building system. And that trust has to come before anything else. And that content production, by the way, is one of the things that leads into good advertising, which is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about here in the list of things. So please make time for content production. This is when we produce content. And that's when I produce the regularly planned content. I'll do Facebook Lives randomly throughout the week on my personal profile and on groups and Facebook pages and things like that. But I do have a dedicated block set aside for content production every week. Please get that on your calendar, your Google Calendar, a recurring block for content production every single week. Now, oftentimes I hear one of the reasons, I'm not going to say excuses, I'm going to say challenges, is your environment. Your environment for content production may not be the best, okay? Then guess what you have right now? You have time. Rearrange your office. If the other spare bedroom in your house behooves a better environment, or behooves you to basically create content that's a better environment, now's the time to rearrange that stuff. It's amazing the number of houses, not necessarily the houses we've lived in, but times over the years where I have said, you know what? I want my home office to be in a different room. And so we've pulled all the stuff out of one room and we've painted and redecorated a room, and then we've moved my office there and made it a better environment for video work, for inspiration, for things like that. So if you need to rearrange your office, now is the time to do it. Haul everything out, get things, furniture and whatnot, things in the way you want them, and get them back in. In my home office, I told you right now, I did a quick audio video equipment upgrade a little bit. I actually did upgrade a computer at one point. This environment behind me, I'm thinking about doing some things there when it comes to creating a different background there. But I've got time to do this right now. Well, I'm still working to take some downtime and work on this environment that I have right there. So find a good way to basically rearrange your office and make it so when you walk in the morning, it's inspiring and it makes you want to create content. Okay? Got to get on that. Now is also a time in there to, when you're looking at rearranging your office and doing more content production, is go out shopping for some cheap equipment. I am a big fan of Craigslist. eBay, you know what? Not so much these days, because eBay is just like Amazon. But you might find some deals there. But I like finding my deals on Craigslist, and I like finding my deals on Facebook Marketplace. Good place to find lights and cameras and microphones and mixers. It's you need for if you want to basically have a decent content production studio in your office, or in your home office, in your real office or your home office, I would highly suggest you look at getting an audio video mixer. Let me see if I can show you the one I have here without unplugging it. But yeah, it's going to be hard, but here we go. So this is the audio video mixer I use right now, the Alesis Multimix 4. I got this one because it is small, obviously, and for the home office, I wanted a small one, but I did want the ability to have, to tap in some other microphones there. And it just has some very basic audio video processing right there. Some basic EQ work, some basic reverb, some basic gates to keep the audio nice and clean. You know what? That probably cost me, I would imagine that cost me less than $100 on Amazon, but you can find good 4 or 8 channel mixers on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace all the time. And if you really want to get your audio to be decent quality, get a decent microphone, and you want to pump it into something like that, that has a USB out and it can go right into the computer right here. So I am definitely a big fan of that right there. I want to make sure everything's still working okay. Okay, good. Looks like we're going good here. So go shopping on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist to get some good, cheap audio video equipment. Also, now is a good time to think, in addition to thinking about working and rearranging your physical office, is to think about your data organization online. All of us have billing systems online and CRMs and email lists and various assets of things. And when we are really swamped and we're not sitting down in the office, at the home office very much, oftentimes we want to switch the systems we use. We want to switch CRMs, or we want to switch accounting programs, or we want to switch banks. Now that you have a little bit of downtime, consider doing that. If you've got a CRM that you've wanted to upgrade, or a CRM that you've wanted to downgrade, or a CRM that you've wanted to pivot to, and I'm focusing on CRMs a little bit because that's an area that we do a lot of consulting on. Now is the time to do that. Now is the time to do a massive data move from one CRM to another CRM. If you have been thinking about using a project management system like an Asana or a Trello, you know what? Get off your butt and get one of those fired up. I'm a fan of both of them. Both of them get the job done, as does teamwork out there. But now is the time to look at, that suite of software that's used online, and is now a good time to basically start shifting the software you use. The tools I use on a regular basis are Bench for my accounting, because I outsource my accounting. FreshBooks I've been using for years and I absolutely love it. Ties into my loan program that where I get my business loans from. They can look at my accounts payable accounts receivable, I guess it is, and basically lend me money based on that. CRMs, I use a variety of them, kind of Infusionsoft and Entreport and Pipedrive are my top 3 choices these days. And so I'm set up in that area because that's an area personally I focus on. But if you are someone who's been thinking about doing some kind of massive data move or shift of the software you use in your business, now would be a good time for that. People are, now we're going to pivot over here to advertising. I've seen various opinions as to whether or not PPC costs are going up or they're going down. I have heard both sides. I have heard that because there's more people online, there's more people dumping ads in the platform, the cost is going up. And at the same time, I've heard that a lot of businesses, because they're a little bit scared about revenue, they may be pulling out of advertising. Either way, all I know right now is that advertising is as cheap as I've ever seen it. And when it comes to advertising, I'm referring to pay-per-click costs on platforms like Google, AdRoll, Facebook pay-per-click costs, Facebook video views. That stuff is as cheap as I've ever seen it. I am on those platforms every day looking at campaigns, creating campaigns, and I have not seen any massive rise or any massive fall in cost per views, cost per impressions, CPM, CPCs, CPVs. I have not seen any massive shift in those micro numbers at all. If anything, I can tell you my personal Facebook ad campaigns are doing very well, and they are very cheap. You know, I advocate kind of a multi-layer Facebook ad campaign program, and my cost per view on, out to cold traffic is less than half of a penny. So, sometimes you'll see cost per view is, $.0.01. Sometimes my really cheap ones sometimes are $.007 or $.008 per view. Right now, I've got some Facebook ad campaigns that are $.004. So they are 4/10 of a penny. Is that right? Or is it 40% of a penny? That's right? Yeah, help me do the math there. But anyways, that's what the cost per view is right now for Facebook ads for cold traffic for the stuff I'm running. So if you ever take any Facebook training from me or we ever run manager campaigns, I'm a big fan of multi-layer Facebook advertising where you blanket a lot of people for awareness and you come back and you hit those people up for deeper cost per click and maybe salesy type objects. That first layer of Facebook advertising right now, the CPM layer for videos, CPV layer for videos, those things are just dirt cheap, and I would run those. And that gets back to something I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, which is video content production. 30 to 60 second videos are really good to make people generally aware that you exist on Facebook, and those are the ones that are really cheap right now. So if you've got some money and you want to do a general awareness campaign so people even know you exist in the first place, then I would definitely get on top of that. And then of course, if you want some help on that, obviously we do that, but you want to pipe after you have a bunch of awareness, you then want to pipe those people over into a campaign where actually getting them off of Facebook and selling them something or making them click off of Facebook. And that being said, also, when it comes to basically expanding your universe or expanding your empire, because all about the whole own your empire concept, look at joint ventures. Sometimes they're called virtual conferences, virtual summits, yada, 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 whatever it is. If you are sitting around and you think people are getting tired of just hearing you talking to a camera, or you know that there are people that have complementary assets and complementary knowledge that you do, look at getting with 2 or 3 other business owners, or 10, depending on how good you are, and the number of people and putting out some kind of joint venture or joint conference or joint knowledge sharing. And if there's money involved, do some kind of revenue share there. Late last night, I got pinged for like my second or third one, where people want to partner up with me, and they basically, will get their expertise to my knowledge and my expertise to their knowledge, and same with the email lists. And so I got pinged about one last night, which I'm very excited about, which I cannot tell you about yet, but basically it's going to be me and some high-level marketing people who I really respect doing like a 3-day event is what it is. I mean, these are big names. And I was very lucky that I was invited to that because I have a particular expertise, I was told, in a particular speaking style that is going to really complement the other people there. So if you ever want to do any kind of joint venture or joint training, or basically use me as a trainer for your clients or use me as a trainer for your audience, hit me up via DM or, call the office business number 405-217-4752 and, let's get something going. And if you need some ideas in that area, again, message me offline and I'll give you some ideas. But right now is a really good time for joint ventures, putting on virtual conferences. Zoom is dirt cheap. I believe Zoom has waived some fees. I do not believe there are any security issues with Zoom at all, despite what you hear in the news. I use Zoom on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. Back on March 16th, I used Zoom for 8 hours in a single day. That's right. Got on Zoom in the morning and got off Zoom like at 4 or 5 o'clock at night. And that was replacing an in-person meeting I was having with a client in Fort Myers, Florida. Let me tell you, you want to talk about a long day? Spend all day on Zoom. It was a long day, but the nice part is we didn't have to travel and it was crazy productive. But you have to pay attention. That's the thing about working from home, is you have to actually pay attention and look at the camera like I'm doing right now. So please look at doing some kind of joint ventures. And again, I'm going to wrap up with the reminder that I said in the beginning of this live stream, is that do not look at contraction or right now, or do not look at basically sitting on your hands and doing nothing, because nothing gets you nothing. Do something today to expand your business empire. Do some content production, record a podcast, record a YouTube video, and then strip the audio out from podcasts. Whatever it is, now is not the time to sit on either your laurels or to sit around waiting to see how long that we're going to be on lockdown in our houses. It may be a week, it may be April 30th, which is in 20 days. You know what? After April 30th comes, they may say 60 or 90 more days. Who knows? But you have to think past that. You have to assume the worst and think long term. Even though things have gotten bad, or theoretically bad, I'm going to tell you what's happened to me recently in the first quarter. Number one, first quarter was the best revenue quarter I've had in a long time, and best profit quarter I've had in a long time. And I've had people contact me to give me financial deposits for events later in the year. So for example, the other day I got a check in the mail for a speaking deposit in October. We're assuming that October is going to be, we're going to be back and to travel very easily. And so someone's going to have me come down to speak in Austin in October, and they have no problem, with their business pressing on and investing in me. And so we're going to be working up until October now to get together a great keynote presentation for them. And I like that thinking. I like that thinking that, yeah, you know what? This is all good. There's not going to be a magical day where it's all going to be over. We're going to gradually get back into what we consider a new normal day. We're going to be, the planes, a lot of planes are parked at airports right now. We're going to be gradually getting those out of storage and traveling maybe as much, if not more, than we did before. Other local businesses, some of the local businesses may not survive, but the ones that do, I think, are going to bounce back higher. So things are going to get back to a new normalcy, but they are not going to stay the way they are right now. And so you have to be prepared for that. And now is the time where you can take some time at home and do some of those things that you've really thought about doing for years and years and years. And now you've got some time to do them. So thank you for watching. If you need some ideas, as always, message me. Call the office and the front desk will answer, 405-217-4752. You can also text us at that same number, 405-217-4752. You know what? I really should have an overlay up for this. I just haven't had one yet. So let's just do that real quick. 405-217-4752. I recently reinstalled software, and there it is right there. So let's get that right there. Should we put it up there? We'll put it up there for now. See, there's the, dang it, I'm always get this backwards. There's the number right there. You can call that number, you can text that number, and if somebody will answer and somebody will reply to your text and get back to you if you need an idea of how to expand or how to do something better in your business during these trying times. Expand, my friends. Do not sit on your laurels. Get to work, and we will talk with you soon.